Good evening in India. Good morning here on the west coast of the US, and wherever you are, welcome to Global Chamber. This is our pan-India monthly cross-metro meetup, which allows us to talk about what's happening in India, what some of the opportunities are. Today we have a feature. RT Nimker is going to be giving us an update on what's happening with an export and trade conference that's happening in Goa, I believe on August 8th. And so she'll be keynoting and being spotlit here at the beginning of the conversation. And I just encourage all of you to learn more about what RT is doing with this program and others. And we're very welcome to have you share your information as well as we continue to expand and grow, our activities in India. I would say overall, maybe two quick updates on Global Chamber from a overall perspective. Global Chamber remains committed to growing internationally in every country. This has been a good growth year for us. And quite honestly, at the beginning of the year, we made a decision that around the middle of the year, we would begin to scale things. And to scale things for us, that meant we need to simplify the way members interact with us. We need to always be increasing our knowledge of members and be able to add more value. We recognized this year that we needed to change our operating system. And so the last 2 months, we have been heads down, very busy with that. I would say the intent was by the end of this week, originally, that we would be done. We're not, as IT programs sometimes are. They drag on a bit. I would say, being generous about it, I think we will have most of it done next week. And we are planning a global conversation, a Globinar next Friday. So today's not Friday, right? So today is the 30th. On this Friday, we have our monthly news on exporting, importing, and trade. And I encourage you to attend that. There's three speakers already have been lined up. They'll give like 5 or 10 minutes of different opportunities that are happening around the world. One of my favorite people, Catherine Reed from Austria, will be there. She does a lot of business in Asia. She's a China expert, but just generally international trade expert. She'll be kicking off the session on Friday. And then we have other speakers. I know one on Yemen, and I don't remember what the third one was that was arranged. But that's always an interesting program just to stay connected with what's going on in the world.
So,
Particularly around opportunities. So that's this Friday, the 1st. Unfortunately, not a great time in India. It's 7:30 p.m. Start time. So hopefully some of you may be able to attend. And
yeah,
the next week, the same time, we're doing a conversation about it's I want to use the word relaunch, although I'm not sure that's the right word. Today I was calling it a refresh. That's the one where Global Chambers implementing this new system. We knew that we needed to improve a variety of things that were built off of that system to make things simpler and more valuable. And so we're going to be far enough along a week from Friday that we can introduce it, including Globi. Globi is an AI tool that's been developed. We're using it already internally. The last several weeks, we've learned how to add even more value to it. Just had a conversation with the developers last night, and it's looking thumbs up. So they agreed to present Globi at that event on the 8th. So if you are interested in doing global business and would like to learn more about how to make it easier and simpler, definitely always be part of Global Chamber. But I think you're going to enjoy Globi as well. So those are some of the things that are going on. Global Chamber more macro. Our focus this year is to continue to have all of the chapters built out. I don't think that'll fully happen this year, but by the end of next year, I think that's reasonable and practical. And that's important because our focus is making cross-regional business easier, just as easy as selling across the street. And to be able to do that, we need a network. We need people who are talented and connected and trusted, and people who know what they're doing, and so that we can count on them. And so building that network has been, frankly, one of the most fun I've ever had in my career. And I just love working with our global team. They're all spectacular, including RT, who you'll hear from in a minute. Overall, in India, I would say we probably really only have about 10 chapters that are in some state of development. We have many more that we'd like to build, and I'm quite honestly disappointed in our activities in India. And when I say our, I mean mine, mainly my follow-up, my ability to lead in an effective way to build the chapters as I think they should be. But the good news is I think we've got some amazing leaders, including RT, who's here. We were talking about Bangalore before the recording, and Santosh Raghavan is another great example of someone who is so knowledgeable and so talented and trusted. Those kinds of people are amazing and great leaders. And so I feel really good about the future of Global Chamber in India, but we need to spend more time on that. Part of our challenge, and hopefully this doesn't sound like an excuse, is that the person who was leading that had some health and family challenges. And so we've brought in Akala Raisi and to replace Sali, who was doing that work. And so we're just now coming up to full speed on that. We actually have 2 meetings today to talk about chapters globally, and India is right at the top of the list. It's an amazing country, and over the next 10 to 20 years that hopefully I'm still part of Global Chamber, I think both India and Africa are the highest priority areas for Global Chamber because of the potential, because of the population growth, economic growth anticipated in both of those regions. And so I've personally committed to make sure that we are successful in India. I know RT feels the same way in Goa. She's had some challenges too with health, with that has not stopped her. She continues to move forward, and now she's doing better. And she was mentioning earlier that probably within a couple months she'll be uh, not suffering the ills of what she's been through. So sorry, RT, that you've been through all of that. And I really appreciate the fact that through the health challenges, which sometimes we face, and you have had to face, you've continued to move forward. We started an export league program globally. We attempted to initiate that earlier this year, and we've been trying to figure out how best to do it. And RT saw our efforts, and she modified that to fit an opportunity that she has coming up next week. And so, RT, could you let us know more about what that particular one is, and then talk about any other opportunities that you'd like to share today from Goa, across India, or anywhere that you're involved?
Yes, Doug. Thank you so much. So, yes, namaste, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Well, it is a privilege to be here with you all today, representing Global Chamber Goa, a chapter steady rebuilding momentum and committed to creating a real world impact by connecting local potential with the global opportunities. I'm very excited to share our upcoming flagship initiative, at least for a Goa chapter, which is Goa Export Empowerment Forum 2025 is what we have named it, a platform to enable MSMEs and SMEs here in Goa, entrepreneurs and key industries from Goa to expand their reach in international markets. That is where we see a huge gap. At least that's what I have been observing in the last year or so. Now, this initiative, which I have decided to take, aims to bring together policymakers, trade experts, business leaders, and global collaborators. And it is a result of a heartfelt collaboration and vision. And before I give you all the more information, I first want to express my thanks to Doug, Cesar, and Jemima for the support and encouragement in shaping this initiative. I will also like to mention I'm honored to have two incredible Global Chamber community members who graciously accepted my invitation to join as speakers for the forum. One is Santosh Raghavan, Executive Director, Global Chamber Bengaluru, and Nikhil Seth, GC member, Ahmedabad member, and export strategy consultant, an amazing person. On my one request, they both were so gracious and they said, yes, we will be there to support you and will come there and represent global chambers. So I'm very grateful to both of them. And I'm sure their insights and global experience will bring tremendous value to the forum. I would like to talk here about my collaborators, Mrs. Pallavi Salgaonkar, who is the president of Laghu Udyog Bharati, and she is a state president for Laghu Udyog Bharati Goa. She is also our advisory board member for the Global Chamber Goa chapter, and she has been a pillar of support, helping and promoting the Global Chamber Goa chapter here. She has seen the vision, what I want to share. I have always shared a lot of inputs with her for the locals, and her encouragement and initiative has made this forum possible. Second person I would like to mention is Mr. Cyril D'Souza, who is the Additional Director International Trade for WTC Goa, that is the World Trade Center Goa, another key collaborator for this event and an integral partner in aligning Goa's export vision globally. He has also expressed his opinion about, from my side, if I'm able to give them a proposal for launching a facilitation center, which I'm working on right now. And we'll see how it goes. But this particular event will be a stepping stone for that. And together, we are committed to making Goa a trade forward vision. And I particularly want to invite all the GC India chapters and international partners to support, engage, and collaborate with us, which we are going to kickstart with this activity. And yes, I want to build this moment together, rooted in Goa, but resonating globally with everybody. And I would especially call out all my India chapters to be a little more active and supportive to each other to take this kind of initiatives. Thank you so much. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you very much.
I would like to
I'm sorry?
take any questions and more details about the forum because I also would like to mention about GIDC, that is the Goa Industrial Development Corporation. Mr. Pravimal Abhishek, the IS Managing Director, has agreed to come as a guest speaker. Then we have Mr. P.S. Pai Angle, who is again Managing Director for Economic Development Corporation of Goa, who is joining us as main chief guest for the forum. So we are getting good support from the government angle also. Both the government bodies have agreed to come forth and they are sending their managing directors as the guest speaker and a chief guest for this particular seminar.
Fantastic. Tell us a little bit more about what your expectations are for next week, for things you're trying to accomplish, and then as far as attendees, what are you hoping to accomplish for them?
What I'm trying to achieve out here or hoping is that whenever I have interacted with the MSMEs and SME segment out here, the clusters particularly, no matter which industry cluster or any vertical industry vertical, I've seen a lot of gaps which could be filled out. And when I talk about an export, there are a lot of awareness, handholding, documentation, awareness about which are the countries which are more relevant for exports. Many questions and training, I would say, awareness and training, which is lacking, which I saw. So what I'm looking at to deliver through this forum is to the export companies, basically, to handhold them. And that is where I'm talking about a facilitation center. If we can have a Global Chamber Goa facilitation center, export facilitation center, we can actually have companies, we can help them, we can handhold them, and we can offer them the international opportunities because we have such a worldwide presence around the globe, is what I'm looking forward to achieving through this forum.
Uh, that's great. And I just kind of remembered that, and I'm trying to think of where they're coming in from. I think Ahmedabad, there is a Indian trade mission coming in that we're hosting in the Bay Area. And I think that the kinds of things you're doing there, portend well for opportunities like that. Some of you know Jagat Shah, and we partner with him as well, again in Ahmedabad as well, where we have hosted some of the folks that he's been working with into the US. There's no reason why we can't do more of that around the world. So far, I think we've only supported Indian companies directly on trade missions in the US and the UK. In terms of a larger type of situation. In terms of a one-on-one, that's very different and much more expanded. As Nikhil, at least he was in the room here earlier, he is. Nikhil knows wherever he's been interested in help, including Australia most recently. So Nikhil, we look forward to hearing from you. Does anybody have any questions for RT, please? And thank you for joining, Nikhil. Are you able to speak? And have you already met RT in the past?
Oh, yes.
No, I haven't met. We spoke, I think we spoke on call once. Harti, correct?
No, I think Doug is asking Nikhil about it.
Okay, sorry.
I think you and me, we just got introduced in this call.
First time, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would like to get more acquainted with you.
No, it's
Okay.
interesting, Mr. It's interesting, Mr. Kiran. I was just looking at your website, J Brown, and you're into property, commercial as well as international. I mean, commercial
Okay.
selling as well as buying. And I think there's something interesting which is coming up on the property front, which could be interest of you, because I work with one of the top 100 lawyers in London. They have 45 lawyers working in London, Birmingham, Leicester, and Surrey. They have an 18-year legacy. But UK is a tricky market when it comes to buying and selling property. And I think there's a good amount of business to be done there. I see that you're operating there as well. So I think there's some good money to be earned there. I'll collaborate with you on a one-to-one basis. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, Nikhil.
Doug, I would like to mention here that Mrs. Pallavi Salgaonkar has joined us. She is one of our key collaborators. Pallavi, I just finished my pitch, and I was talking about you, and I introduced you and Mr. Cyril. I was speaking about you. So, Doug, she has just joined, and as I said, she's also advisory member for Global Chamber Goa, and she's the state president for Laghu Udyog Bharati. And she's the one who has offered such a great support. That's why this forum is being possible by me.
Great. Thank
Hi,
you very
Pallavi.
much. And just to circle back with Kiran and Nikhil, we'll get back to you in a moment. Let's just finish the conversation here on the Goa opportunity. And thank you so much, RT, for pulling that together. Pallavi, are you able to speak and share your perspective of the event next week?
Share what perspective?
Can you talk about our next week event? Share your perspective.
Okay,
What
I
exactly
think you are the
hoping
best person to talk about it.
I've
But
already spoken.
currently, as we have curated, as Aarti has curated, and I and Cyril have helped her, it is like going to be a hand holding for Goan MSMEs. MSMEs are micro, small, and medium enterprises. So basically, companies below 500 crores. So what happened is that there's no DGFT office in Goa. So we have speakers coming from Bombay, Delhi, and other parts of India who come and do one-day programs and they go. And when MSMEs actually sit down to do all the documentation work or the work of the required for export, they find a lot of difficulties. So basically, whole intent is that first we are going to do 1 day program tomorrow, but after that, it will be to set up a facilitation desk in Goa so that they have got somebody to contact, a helpline kind of initiative, so that they've got somebody to contact which will help them to scale their exports.
Yes,
Very good.
that's right.
Well,
And
thank you for your
that's the
assistance with
vision we
that.
share.
RT, anything else that you would like to share about Pallavi's involvement or anything else about the program, or should we continue to take questions?
No, Doug, please continue. I think I have shared most of the things.
Okay. But before we move on, does anybody have any additional questions for RT?
In fact, Mr. Doug, my apologies. I was just getting into my office. So when you asked me to, corroborate what you just said with respect to, with respect to what's happening here in India, you're right, Mr. Doug. The thing is, India could be a bit tricky. Maybe the lack of participation or the lack of activeness on front of certain, would-be potential members from GC. The thing is, I've been talking to Ms. Aarti about it, and I think the beauty is India is a very price-sensitive market. It's a challenging market because of its proximity to several Asian competitors, including China. Very good skill-based, technological or other service sector-based economy. But at the end of the day, people, I have 70, 80, $90 million clients sitting here in India or sitting in other parts of the world, basically Indians, who still are, counting in rupees, in Indian rupees, even though they're earning in British pounds or in US dollars. So, I mean, the funny reason why I and RTG actually connected was I felt that there could be just a 2 to 5 minute quick, practical demonstration on what RTG had requested in that session of Ms. Maha, with all due respect. So basically, RTG was looking for a list of all the top products which are being exported from India into the US, and which are the top products to pick out for a would-be exporter. So that's the only reason I've been answering your question. Yes, I had met RTG after Ms. Maha's session. It was a coincidence, and that's how we connected well. And I thank RTG for having facilitated rather that round of discussions. But yes, I think there's a much more simpler and rather easier way to get into the minds and hearts of the people here, especially the business-oriented ones. Mr. Doug, I think I could discuss it on a one-to-one basis later on with you as per your convenience.
Okay. No, that's fine. I didn't necessarily want to make that the focus of it, really, and just wanted to give an update. So thank you for your offer, and definitely interested to learn more. The main thing for me is that the opportunity in India, ever since I've been visiting India, and I will say to date myself, probably my first visit to India was 1990 or so. So that's 35 years ago. I've been doing international work for 38 years. But I did finally get to India and have enjoyed all of my visits over the years. And I think I have some sense of both the opportunity and the challenges. And one of my, the challenge side of it in terms of how things historically have worked, it happened to me when I was in Indonesia and I was trying to get into India and having a hard time with my visa and the whole process of how that transpired over a couple months from the US. Something didn't work. I was trying to do it in Indonesia and, found that to be quite an unsatisfactory 1 week escapade at the Indian embassy in Jakarta, which reminded me again of the opportunities, because I really wanted to get to India on that visit a few years ago, and the challenges, the way things work historically in India. I think, but I'm left with the opportunity, and that's why India is a number one priority for Global Chamber. And so we'll figure it out with talented people like all of you, and many who are not in the room here today, and many that we don't know yet. So we look forward to learning more.
Absolutely. But I think the experience which you must have had in the Jakarta office must have been, I mean, with the Consulate General of India in Jakarta must have been in the early 90s or late 90s. So I think times have changed. We are 25 years ahead, and I think
Well, no, that one was about 5 years ago. So
5 years ago.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The early days were so easy for me because they were, I had a distributor for DuPont, and they, I got around the country amazingly well. It was very, very simple. It was just, things happen, right? And government agencies everywhere can be burdensome, and so I didn't mean to focus and dwell on that. Other than I think just practically speaking, sometimes in India, we all know administratively things can go off the track, and that's improved dramatically. And Ahmedabad, I think, particularly is a great example of the entrepreneurial spirit, but just generally the entrepreneurial spirit of Indians. I will say, and what's behind me, by the way, you may or may not know Jagat Shah. That's not Jagat Shah. That's Gunjan Bagla. He is one of the world's top experts on U.S.-India business. And so this was on Sunday behind me in Santa Monica, California. Gunjan is a longtime member of Global Chamber, and he, several years ago, tried to convince the Indian government to put a consulate in Los Angeles. They hesitated to do that because there's already one in San Francisco. So why do two in one city? So he went to the mayor of Los Angeles, and Mayor Garcetti, as it turned out, and he was very pro getting that done. And with the Indian government and with the city of Los Angeles, they have gotten that done. So a consul general has been selected. They're selecting a location, and apparently I'm on the advisory board for not just that particular initiative, but more generally. It's called India International Impact Initiative, run by some really pretty spectacular people many of whom I met for the first time on Sunday. So I think it mainly goes to the opportunities in India are spectacular. We look forward to working with you on all of these. The event next week, RT, sounds great. Is there anything else that we can do to help between now and then?
Well, Dak, I think almost everything has been covered, and I'm promoting it on our WhatsApp groups also. So I think more or less we are in place. And here locally in Goa, me, Pallavi, and Cyril, we are trying our best to get more and more people. So we are promoting the event. Digitally, of course, I know on LinkedIn and in the groups it is getting promoted. So thank you so much for all the help and support.
So how many people expected, Aarti, and is it a physical event in a hotel or somewhere?
We are expecting around 50 companies, more than 50, of course, but 50 is the number we are looking at. As I mentioned earlier, we are looking at not at the volumes, but we are looking at quality audience coming and registering with us, which is happening so far. So I'm very happy on that.
And is it a venue is the hotel?
This is a EDC auditorium called Nalanda Auditorium in the Economic Development Corporation premises. We are holding this event.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, understood.
Fantastic. We have about 20 minutes left. And so with that, I would suggest we do kind of a speed roundtable and have as many of you who would like to share things focused in ideally on opportunities that are coming up. And Pallavi, I already had asked you if there's anything about the Goa opportunity that you'd like to share. Is there anything else that you would like to share, either an opportunity or something that you would like to, someone you'd like to meet, or some other need that you have? Is there anything that we can do to help? Pallavi, are you there? Sorry to surprise you. Oh, you're on mute.
We can't hear you. You're mute.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I missed a part of the conversation.
Oh, no worries. So we're just doing a roundtable of opportunities. And this, you've reached Global Chamber, our Pan-India conversation that happens once a month. And thank you for your support of RT and the Global Chamber Goa chapter. We're just asking members first on, is there any opportunity that you would like to share with us, or do you have any needs or anything else that you would like to share with us before we go to the next person?
Just now, I received one WhatsApp message that the US has charged India with 25% tariff plus penalty. So I think that is one of the biggest talk. I was just talking to my husband right now that why have they, means Piyush Goyal had gone all the way to the US actually to negotiate. So that was on my mind all the time. So if you can help reduce that, then there's nothing like it.
So the tariff status is 25%
Somebody
across
just
the board.
WhatsApped me.
It's not only the tariff. He has charged a penalty also on India on top of
Plus
the 25% tariff.
plus penalty. I don't know
Plus
how much, but
penalty.
he just sent me that X post of Donald Trump to me. So I was just discussing that. So you can help us out with that from the US side. Nothing like it.
So, Pranayji, I see that you are working in one of the most wonderful dynamic pharmaceutical companies, Geno Pharmaceuticals. There was an interesting conversation which I had with a very good lady, Miss Rhonda. She's also from US. She's based in Germany, in the NRW region of Germany. So she was giving me a very good perspective, which Mr. Doug could probably throw light on. Rhonda was speaking to me. She had a very good meeting, and she told me that, look, Nick, I mean, that's the international name. Look, Nick, the fact is, no matter how much we beat around the bush, we cannot, as a world, do without each other. So whether it's US working with India, or US working with the China, or India working with the China, or India working with the Germany, or India working with the US. So I think these geopolitical tensions are bound to be there. The political leadership is definitely something which Ms. Rhonda was very, let me just say that she was laughing at the same time, she was quite sad. So I think the less said, the
Trump has caused a major disruption in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll say a couple things because we don't get into politics, but I am proud of the vote that I had in the presidential campaign where I voted for the other person. But it wasn't my choice. We had to get, who we got. So apparently it was fair and it was legal, and somehow the outcome was the outcome. I think it's embarrassing as a German Polish American. I don't emphasize the American so much these days, although I think America and the U.S. I'm still proud of many things that the country has done. I these days probably tap more into the global tribe concept that we're all together, and so your point is well taken that for us to do trade, it doesn't make sense for cities to compete against each other and charge each other tariffs, or regions or countries, certainly to the extent that this guy wants to do. I think from a contextual standpoint, it's important to recognize that he's doing it for himself, and he's doing it against everyone, every country. And so it's not a India thing. It's just a personal thing that he's doing that for whatever reason can't be stopped yet. However, I will say that one of our members, Bill Edwards, in the Global Chamber Los Angeles chapter, is 50 years of experience plus. He runs the District Export Council for Southern California, and he has special access in Washington. And he has been, I would say, not overly optimistic, but he's been realistically explaining that by the end of the summer, that a lot of this will likely have certainly been diminished. What's happening is, these tariffs come into play and then it's a negotiating tactic. And so people need to kiss the feet of the king, and then he lowers the tariff and waves the magic wand. And, that's not a good way to treat friends. And it's unfortunate that that's happening, not just between the US and India, but between the US and many other countries right now. It's not a good long-term strategy to disrespect, which I think it's disrespectful to disrespect your partners and your friends. But it is what it is. We have it. And so we're doing our part, all of us, in speaking out. And Bill Edwards in particular speaks out all the time in all the committees that he's doing. And everyone I know is speaking out that this cannot continue, that we are an interdependent world. And above and beyond that, even beyond interdependence, you don't treat your friends poorly. And so hopefully we all survive this with a smile, as you have done. Thank you for having a smile, all of you, and know that we're all, I think, fighting in the same battle. So thank you, Nikhil.
Yeah, no, thank you, Mr. Doug. It is all the more interesting because I think this event which is being done, I'm really grateful and humbled by what Aarti and what Pallavi are doing. Pallavi herself is the dynamic director of Geno Pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals are one of the top exports to US. Pharmaceuticals account for a large portion of the exports from India to US. And I think when she threw in this question and this perspective, it was all the more fun. But anyhow, sorry, please moving on. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think there's certainly at the top of the US, there is a misunderstanding or lack of knowledge about this supply chains and the impact on supply chains for tariffs. And I think they at least understand it now, although they have something else they're trying to accomplish. So for pharmaceutical and automotive and aerospace and semiconductor, these are complicated supply chains that cannot have these kinds of behavior. And there have been carve-outs for some of them, but it's just, not tenable. And it's hurt many, many different companies within the supply chain. We're an interdependent world, and we must realize that. And most people do. It's just, we have this temporary setback. So hopefully we continue to move forward. It's not as bad as World War II. It's not as bad as some of the other things that have happened in history of the world, but it's bad, and and we will survive it, and we'll move beyond it. Nikhil, was there anything else that you wanted to share?
No, I think quite a few people know we know each other, except maybe Mr. Kiran and Ms. Donna and Mr. Aleph. And Mr. Thierry, of course, with whom I would like to engage later on. So very quickly, just giving you a brief perspective. Thank you, Mr. Doug, for passing on the baton here. I've been able to successfully deliver, my firm is Envision Advisory. I've been able to successfully deliver practical marketing growth to 101 foreign and 182 Indian medium, small, and large enterprises with a transparent, result-driven process. We have 3 particularly very successful service areas globally where we focus on increasing sales. One is through marketing advisory, implementation, and handholding with successful results for any business in most sectors. I'm sector agnostic. I repeat, I'm sector agnostic. I've worked in a wide variety of sectors, till date, 52 plus and counting across domestic and export markets. Customize practical business research and market intelligence. Do your due diligence, be prepared, understand the market before you hit the market. Personalized business visits, including business delegations. Personalized business visits is a very interesting area because we have been able to help all kinds of organizations, especially American, especially Canadian, especially some of the European and Middle East, and of course Indian, to target locations in any foreign markets to beat the buyers and importers through personalized business visits with maximum value added in terms of actual lead generation. So I think that's it from my end, Mr. Doug, but thank you so much for allowing me to share. Thank you.
Sounds good. A couple people I'd like to hear from, and then just open up the floor. Kiran Adala, you're a guest, and so thank you for learning more about Global Chamber. Who could you give us just a short summary of what you're involved with? And is there anything that we can do to help you?
Certainly. Thanks, Doug, for the opportunity. Basically, yeah, I lived in the UK for around about 12 years before I moved to Bangalore. Of course, I studied my master's degree, then I got into workspace, then I was part of Institute of Directors, where I met one of the common friends of Doug and I, it's John Courtney. So that's how I think a few years ago we were introduced, Doug, if you remember. But so when I moved back to India, I decided to be, although I'm originally from Andhra Pradesh, which is Kakinada's and Hyderabad. So I used to live there before my college days, and I decided to settle in Bangalore because of weather and because of my kids. We felt that it's much easier to settle down here after a long stint in UK. But yeah, just coming to what I do. In the UK, I used to program manage. I'm an engineer by profession. I'm a basically chartered engineer, and I used to work for a design and construction company who are into program management of large wet infrastructure projects. Thames Water was our client, and we are a part of a consortium of very big design and build companies in the UK and Europe, and handling around $2 billion construction projects across 5 years. So then of course IOD instead of directors when I joined as a member. The first thing is eye opener for me because I've always been into one sector, trying to grow my career in the space. But I knew that when I moved back to India, I want to do something between UK India space because I took the British passport. It makes sense for me to leverage the connections I have in the UK, and then when I come here, I don't want to be disconnected. So I've been I was lucky to IOD, the two connections. One is John. John has got a company called Boardroom Advisors. I think he's running for now 8 years. I take care of his the India side of the business. Basically, I represent Boardroom Advisors in India. We are the provide part-time directors across 15 various sectors. We have around 200 odd advisors sitting in Europe, India, and Middle East. Basically, we solve the problem of companies who can't afford a full-time executives for a large no the salaries. Rather, like, we fit the budget. We are not a recruitment firm, more about advisory, but on a part-time basis, on a day rate. So I've been helping India business and pretty mostly the companies who want to set up in the UK from India, and we were handholding them because we were a endorsement body for UK government at some point, where we had 3 years of commitment to the government of UK in writing the reports on how this business are doing. So of course, the endorsement fetches them the innovation visa, which we were 99% successful on. Everybody we endorsed, they got the visa. And then, of course, hand holding them for 3 years. And every 6 months, we have a responsibility to write a due diligence report to the government of UK, especially the Home Office. And then just try to advise them, help them in the space. But apart from that, I also brought in another brand called J Brown, which was 8 years ago. We help Indians who own properties in London. We do the property management services for them, and we do the portfolio management of NRIs living in the UK, and managing their assets, real estate assets in India. So that's brief. Sorry, I took a long time. I thought you should know the background because first time we are meeting. Yeah.
Oh, that helps a lot, and that provides some great context. Thank you very much. I'd like to also introduce Mohammed Omar. He's actually a global advisor for Global Chamber based in Turkey, but he's representing Iraq, in particular Kirkuk, where he's from. Mohammed, are you able to say hi?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Doug. How are you? Nice to meet you this week also. Every week now we are going to meet. Thank you for a great meeting. So I enjoyed it. India is a very big trade partner with Iraq. and also we have a very tight connection when it comes to health care sector. Many Iraqis are traveling to India for getting health care. So thank you, everyone. I'd like to mention that I have a permanent exhibition center in Kirkuk, Iraq. So any company are interested to expand its businesses locally in Iraqi market, I will be more than happy to connect and give market research or advisory. As I mentioned, India is one of the few countries that can compete with China when it comes to Middle East. So I'm looking forward to getting the connections also. So thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Donna Smiley, I see, is connected to you in LinkedIn, and she's involved with real estate based in Atlanta. And Donna, we do have a real estate conversation on a weekly basis, and it is in 2.5 hours. And so I welcome you to that. If you don't have the contact information, probably Jem can put that in the chat area. Or are you already aware of that? Is that who you are, Donna Smiley from Atlanta?
Yes, I am. Good morning, everyone. My name is Donna Smiley. I am based in the Atlanta, Georgia market. I am also a part of the Georgia Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, and I actually traveled to India in February on a delegation with the chairman of our largest county here, as well as commissioners, about cross-border opportunities between India as well as the state of Georgia. And I just assisted 3 Indian companies with getting their first satellite offices here in Atlanta. They have 650 employees in India with they have a call center business that caters to healthcare as well as technology. So I had the pleasure of going to Uti as well as being able to be hosted by Codicia, one of the largest chambers in India as well. So I have a 5-year visa, very connected to the Consul General here, which is Ramesh Babu, who's a very nice gentleman as well. So just looking forward to learning more about the Global Chamber, learning how to become a member. I just mentioned to a few of the board members about you all to see how, there could be some synergy if you all are not already connected to the Georgia Indo-American Chamber, and just being a resource.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. No, it's great to meet you. And I'm looking at your LinkedIn profile, and there's very few folks that you're connected to within our community. And that's, to me, a really good thing, because it opens up lots of different doors. What is your interest and involvement with India? What's your connection there? Why India, or is it more broadly global that you're interested in?
Well, global, but I just so happened to end up going to the the Indian Chamber invited me to their film festival last year. And then from me going to there, they actually invited me to India. And I was like, well, I would go on the trip. So I traveled to Coimbatore, which is South India. And it was truly an amazing experience. And I advocate for India. I think there's so much opportunity there just for me traveling there. And I tell a lot of small businesses, a lot of people are looking for resources in China, but for me traveling to India, I'm like, there's so many opportunities, especially on the manufacturing side, that you could be sourcing from India instead of China. But as you just mentioned, India just did get hit with tariffs, 25% tariffs, but hopefully that won't last long.
Yeah, no, that India long term is a friend. Although Gunjan Bagla reminds me often of how back in the 70s, Henry Kissinger insulted Indira Gandhi and really got India and the US off track. So that was over 50 years ago. The relationship between the US and India has not been a steady, positive experience, usually screwed up by Americans. In that case, it was Nixon and Kissinger. And I think in between, there's been a lot of really good progress. And unfortunately, we're going through a little bit of a bad stretch that I'm sure we'll make it through. So thank you for your passion and your interest, and really great to meet you. And are you able to introduce yourself in our real estate event in 2.5 hours?
2.5 hours Eastern time. I have a meeting at 12 Eastern.
Okay,
So
so 2.5 hours.
I'm on Eastern time. You're in California, correct?
Well, 2.5 hours should be 1 o'clock Eastern time.
Oh, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Yeah, I should be fine then.
Okay, cool. So in the chat area, Jem has the contact information, but I'll send you a quick email with the information as well. I found your email on your LinkedIn. Thank you for connecting so quickly.
You're so welcome, and thank you for the opportunity. And you're in California, correct, Doug?
The Global Chamber's headquartered in Phoenix, but I'm mostly in Los Angeles, and that's where I am today, yes.
Okay, that's where I'm from. I will be in Los Angeles next month. Well, not August, but September. So
okay. Well, if you might not have been on the call then, but I've been inducted into the India International Impact Initiative, which is setting up the Consul General here in Los Angeles. And so it was funny because I showed up a little bit late, and there were maybe about 40 to 50 people there, and I was shuttled to the front of the room, and I was introduced as a VIP, and so I was like overly honored and amazed that I would be there. The Indian, or the president of International for the city of Los Angeles is Indian as well, and so I got to meet her, and we've already started to connect up around what Global Chamber is all about. And the fellow behind me is Gunjan Bagla. He's Mr. India for Los Angeles. And so if you're here next month, I'm sure we'll be able to help if you have some extra time.
okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, we're just right close to the end. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share before we close the room? And I'll give RT the final word. Does anybody else have anything before RT has the final word?
No.
Jem, do you have anything that we should have in mind? Are you there? And anything coming up? I know the real estate one is in 2.5 hours, and I think there's something else. We had how many hours ago was it? Let's see. It was about
30 minutes.
9 hours ago was the one from KL, right, on EOS.
Yes, sir. We're there earlier at 10 p.m. Pacific time, so 1 p.m. my time, then 1 a.m. time for processor. So yeah, it was a great session. So feel free to check from time to time our event calendar, globalchamber.org/events. So because sometimes we add new events, and feel free also to share with your networks when we post on LinkedIn. Yeah, so feel free to join us today in 30 minutes. We have Global Women Online Networking, then Real Estate Roundtable. Then tomorrow we have Global Opportunities in UAE and Canada. So if you're interested for any business opportunity with that, feel free to register. And also for Friday, we have Exporting, Importing FDI News with Doug and Amar and Catherine Reed. So we will be tackling about opportunities in Europe and Asia, and also opportunities in Yemen. Yeah, so join us, everyone, and thank you for your time today.
The Canada UAE one, I saw that they've got 50 registrants, and we have, I think, over 20 or 30 already. So I think that one's looking good attendance wise, and the content itself is really interesting. Our team in the UAE is amazing, and so looking forward to that. RT, any final comments, please?
Yes, that final comments would be once again a big thank you to you, Cesar and Jen, for all the help and support. And I would say that in India, as you rightly said, in UAE you have amazing team. So in India, I think Nikhil is here, and of course Pallavi is there. And we should try to become an amazing team to get more and more attendance on every meet of ours, cross-border meets. And let's keep connecting, supporting each other. And we are looking forward to a great event. And I am at least planning one activity, one event on a monthly basis from September onwards for Global Chamber Goa. So I will keep you updated and share my preliminary calendar, which I have prepared with you. And I am hoping to do similar kind of events for all the industries. So keep on supporting, and I'll keep on doing work over here, and let's do amazing things together. Thank you.
So and thank you for the reminder too. For next time, what I'm going to do is we had about 30 companies from India sign up recently, mostly from Ahmedabad, from a variety of different industries. So I'm going to reach out to that big group and see if a few of them can come to our next meeting and explain a little bit more about what's going on. And so I don't know what I presume certainly out of the 30, some of them will be able to participate. So thank you, RT, for your leadership and the progress you've made, and we'll continue to support you as well as we can, and with a commitment and a passion. And thank you, Jem, for the support here today, and thank you all for taking the time. We'll see you soon. The Women in Leadership one that starts in 30 minutes is a special one. It's run by Maria Putnam. And so it's for women generally. Sometimes men go in there, but it's a really, she's so fantastic in terms of facilitating the conversation. So if you can jump in. I think you've been in that one, RT.
Yes. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you.